Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
Hey, it's our feature unit, and this is day 2. So you know that we've already talked a little bit about this. We're going to spend more time today talking about gamification and how game elements are luring customers to buy more of a company's product, to have more loyalty towards that particular company or brand, and how they're doing it. There is some science behind it. How do you get to how you manipulate consumers' minds or customers' minds is part of this, and how you get people to stick with your brand, even though your brand might be more expensive than another brand. Why do customers stick with a brand? It's not just because of the quality. We're going to find out how they do this using promotional tools like games and collecting things like stickers and points and turning them in later to get something back from the company. So it's all part of getting you to spend more.
Exactly, and of course we've seen promotions before, but the unique thing about this is that they're doing it in the form of games where you can get rewards and points and badges and stuff like that. So it can be very addictive that way since people just love to play games all the time. So let's find out some more about this particular concept of gamification, how game elements lure customers. Let's read today's lesson from top to bottom.
Across industries, a number of major corporations rely on gamification to increase sales, appeal to new customers, and build a loyal follower base. Let's explore a few famous examples to see what this looks like in practice. In the social media world, Facebook relies on gamification to give users added incentive to engage with business posts. Page followers who routinely like, share, and comment on posts can get top fan badges next to their name. While this makes for a validating online interaction for those consumers, it also helps businesses predict which users are most likely to convert to paying customers. Other brands, such as Starbucks, utilize reward programs to draw in repeat customers. With every purchase, consumers can use the brand's app to collect stars, which may be cashed in for signature drinks, snacks, or other company products. This marketing scheme is so effective that in 2019, the coffee giant saw its app's active member base grow by 500,000 users in the second quarter alone. Meanwhile, Nike uses challenges to promote user engagement with its app. Users are regularly encouraged to join other participants in organized challenges, which range in difficulty from running 15 kilometers a week to 30 kilometers at a stretch. Created to be attention-grabbing, the challenges display as colorful full-screen designs that offer prizes to competitors, but only for a limited time. This sense of urgency also helps motivate users to commit to challenges before the opportunity passes. These are just a few of the ways that real businesses have successfully used gamification to engage consumers, and this technique is more prevalent than you might suspect. Think about the websites and apps you regularly use. Do you recognize any gamification elements?
Okay, let's explain today's lesson for you so that you can understand it a little better, both in terms of the subject we're talking about and in terms of English listening comprehension. So again, we're talking about gamification, and we're talking about how these game elements, or these things that look like games, how they lure us in order to buy more products. Now, across industries, a number of major corporations rely on gamification to increase sales, appeal to new customers, and build a loyal follower base. So across industries, in many different industries, no matter what they are, we've got all these different kinds of companies relying on gamification to increase sales and also to appeal to new customers and then also to build that loyal follower base. So here we've got appeal as a verb. That just means you make something attractive to somebody. So, for example, maybe someone offered to take you out for dinner and they're going to take you to a Greek restaurant. Oh, Greek food doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't sound like something I would like to eat. All that weird meat and those breads and that weird kind of wine.
Ooh, I like Greek food. Well, if it appeals to you, it really is attractive to you. It's something that sounds good. So, yeah, they want to appeal to new customers. Companies are always looking for new customers. Old ones sometimes leave you or maybe they even die. So you want to appeal to new customers. And they're also trying to build a loyal follower base. Remember, we talked about loyalty in day one. Giving something or someone your full support is being loyal. So if you're loyal, it means you don't want to try another brand. You like what brand you're using already, and your brand can depend on you to always buy their particular product. So let's explore, it says here, a few famous examples to see what this looks like in practice. We use this phrase in practice to contrast with what it's like in theory. Yes, someone can write down an idea, but until you put it into practice, you don't know if it's going to be successful or not. A lot of us have great ideas in our heads, but if we really put them into practice, sometimes they aren't so successful as we think they're going to be. So if you put something into practice, it means you use it in real life. You actually get in there and see what it's like in practical life, in real life, rather than on paper or in your mind. So going to the next paragraph, Tom, it says in the social media world, Facebook relies on gamification to give users added incentive to engage with business posts. I am not a fan of Facebook. I don't use it much anymore. Maybe I go on there twice a year because I need an address of a company. But Tom, you use Facebook. Talk about some of the incentives that you've seen.
Yeah, there are all sorts of things that try to get you to click on it. I guess in the case of a smartphone, to tap on it. And a lot of those, I believe, come in the form of quizzes, like test your knowledge on World War II history or something like that. And I kind of think that, yeah, it's probably a fun quiz and things like that, but it's not just there to entertain you. Of course, they want something from you, so you have to be careful about those websites, unless you're really interested in the products they're trying to promote and stuff like that. But I have taken some of those quizzes, and sometimes they're just too easy, or I'm just not interested in finishing them. So I'm gradually not being tempted by them anymore. I just want to check Facebook and see what friends are up to, what things they've posted and things like that. But Facebook does do that. They rely on gamification to give you this added incentive, which means some kind of reward. Okay, if there's some incentive, then you want to do that. You can get something out of it. Like, hey, what's my incentive? Why should I invest in your company? What am I going to get back? What do I get in return?
When I was growing up, of course, we had household chores, and we had to do them because, of course, my mom said to. But an added incentive was if you do your chores or get your jobs done in the house, then you can go shopping with me on Saturday. So that was one of our incentives. So it's some sort of motivation, like Tom says, to actually do something. And they want users to engage with business posts. Page followers who routinely like, share, and comment on posts can get top fan badges. Remember what a badge is? It's some sort of emblem or mark that shows who you are or your identity. Here, you're getting a badge because you're a really good fan, which is kind of fun. Again, I'm not into this, but I know a lot of people are. Although I'm reading, Tom, that the younger generation isn't quite so excited about Facebook anymore.
Yeah, they do other things. I think they're like Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those,
you can do movies.
Yeah, those platforms are
TikTok.
going to, exactly, they're going to have other kinds of incentives, but we're using Facebook as an example here. So yeah, you can get badges or other kinds of incentives or rewards. And while this makes for a validating online interaction for those consumers, it also helps businesses predict which users are most likely to convert to paying customers. So, yes, indeed, while it is true that this makes for a validating online interaction for those consumers. To make for something means it causes it, it brings it about. So this causes or makes a validating online interaction. It creates that for you, and it's validating, which means it's legitimate and it does what it says it's supposed to do. But it also helps businesses predict which users are going to become paying customers in the future. So if you predict something, you kind of make an educated guess about what is going to happen in the future. So you hear this all the time. You're looking for people to predict the stock market. Are prices going to go up? Are they going to go down? Or to predict the weather. Are we going to have any typhoons this year? Or something like that. And if you convert, that means you change from one thing to another, like you convert from one religion to another, like convert to Buddhism, for example.
Or maybe you have a sofa bed that you bought at the store. That sofa bed can convert from a sofa into a bed at night if you have no space in your apartment, or maybe you have a visitor that's coming into town and you need an extra space for them to sleep. Yeah, lots of things can convert from one thing to another. If you travel to another country that has a different electrical circuit, you might need to buy some converters that change the circuit so that your blow dryer works or your curling iron, things like that, especially if you go to places like Europe. So we're going to take a quick break here, guys. Listen to our Chinese teacher who will explain a bit more, and then we'll be back.
大家好，我是派老师。今天讲解的是11月份 Unit2 Gamification 第2天的课程。在第1天课程中，我们认识了 Gamification 游戏化行销，知道运作的原理和基本形式，比方说累积点数、换取徽章等等。今天的课文介绍3家企业运用 Gamification 的实际案例。现在我们一起看看学习重点。第一个案例是 Social Media 社群媒体龙头 Facebook。那我们看这个句子。Page followers who routinely like, share, and comment 这个句子，这句话的意思是说，为了让大家多多追踪粉丝专页，脸书设计了头号粉丝徽章，经常按赞、分享和评论贴文的专业粉丝，可以在他们的名字旁边获得头号粉丝徽章。那接着看到这个句子 ，In the social media world, Facebook relies on gamification 这个句子。请同学注意，这里面有2个不定词。第一个是 to give users added incentive， 脸书依靠游戏化提供使用者诱因。那第2个不定词是 to engage with business posts， 那诱因后面还有一个不定词，是要表示诱使使用者做什么。那我们进一步看看 incentive 这个字，到底它该怎么用呢？其实这个字是一个名词，解释作诱因或者奖励。老师给大家一个例句 ：Some parents use cash as an incentive for children to study harder。这句话的意思是说，有些爸爸妈妈要小孩子认真念书，就会用金钱来当作诱因。好，接着我们看最后一句 ：While this marks for validating online interaction 这个句子，那逗点后面，同学有没有看到有个 to convert to paying customers？ 好，这边的 convert to 其实就是转变的意思，所以这句话是说哪些用户最有可能转变为付费客户。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue to talk about gamification. Okay, we gave you the example of what Facebook does to give you incentive to engage with those business posts. And we also talked about the fact that this makes for a validating online interaction, but it also helps predict which users are going to be loyal customers in the future. And other brands, such as Starbucks, utilize reward programs to draw in repeat customers. So if you go to Starbucks maybe once or twice in a while, you might like it, it's okay, but of course Starbucks wants you to come back more often than that. They want you to be a repeat customer, that you always go there and you don't go to Kama or Louisa or some of the other competition. They want you to keep coming there, and so they have these reward programs to draw you in, to attract you.
So with every purchase, consumers can use the brand's app to collect stars. They're kind of like stickers, but what you collect are online, and they're stars. And they can be cashed in later for signature drinks, snacks, or other products the company sells. Purchase here is just another word for buy. Actually, this is a noun. So with every purchase is a noun here. Purchase can be a noun or a verb, but if it's a verb, then the synonym for that, a similar word would be buy. Purchase is a little bit more advanced, but not really. We use purchase as we speak conversationally as well as buy. So they're both great. I don't see a big difference between using buy or purchase. Now here, you're using it as a noun though. So every time you buy something that is a purchase that you make, consumers can use that app to collect stars. Now, if you cash something in, it usually means you've been collecting something for a while that symbolizes something in real life. What you're collecting doesn't have any value on the street or in real life. For example, if you go gambling and you play poker and you win some chips, those chips have zero financial value if you leave the casino. But what you do is you take those chips and you cash them in before you leave the casino, and they give you real money. And that's what you want. So sometimes we collect stickers and then we can cash them in for something the store is selling. And a lot of people do that. I do that at my supermarket. I collect stickers and then cash those stickers in at the end of the promotional period. And usually I get something like dishes or pots and pans or small kitchen appliances.
Yeah, I think I remember my parents collecting S&H green stamps.
Oh, yeah, long time ago.
When I was a kid. I never did it myself because they were gone by the time I was old enough to understand that. But yeah, they collected the stamps and they put them in these books, and then you turn the books and you cash them in for prizes and stuff like that. It's the same concept here. And yeah, you've collected those stars through their app, and now you can cash in for various things, including their signature drinks that only Starbucks has that other companies don't. And you could get some of their snacks like a cinnamon roll or whatever, or other products that they may have. I think they have cups and flasks and things for sale. And this marketing scheme is so effective that in 2019, the coffee giant saw its app's active member base grow by 500,000 users in the second quarter alone. That was just a couple of years ago, so we could say that this marketing scheme or this marketing plan has been effective. It attracted lots of new users, and probably they sold millions of cups of coffee as a result.
So you can see that we had these same kind of programs before. They were called promotions. But now what's changed is everything is going online. And these programs are going and using social media platforms to get the word out. Because a lot of the consumers today are just glued to their smartphones. As you know, if you've been around anywhere, especially the younger generation, it seems like even outside, taking a walk around, their heads bent and they're looking at that smartphone. I've made it a policy when I go outside, especially just to walk or buy groceries or something. I don't take my phone to try to keep my head up and look at people. But yeah, everybody's trying to look at something on the smartphone, and a lot of these apps that are really just a type of sales promotion for a company, they're doing very well. So here's another example, Tom. Nike, that makes the athletic wear, the shoes and the clothes both. They use challenges to promote user engagement. User engagement just means getting people to participate in something that you do. And users are regularly encouraged to join other participants in organized challenges. These could be real, something that you do online, or maybe you actually get together in real life for some of these challenges. They range in difficulty, meaning some are easy, some are harder. Let's talk about what those might be, Tom. Go.
Indeed. So challenges are just sorts of competitions. Hey, you can join this challenge to compete against other people for prizes and stuff like that. So, of course, when you join a challenge like that, there's the feeling of competition and everybody wants to win and stuff like that. So, of course, they've got different examples of this. Nike is an athletics equipment manufacturer, shoes and clothing and stuff like that. So, they've got some challenges here which involve races. Well, they range in these sorts of things from this to that if you talk about a range. So they range in difficulty from running 15 kilometers a week to 30 kilometers at a stretch. So I'm not that big a runner. My knee kind of hurts sometimes, so I don't do a lot of running. But I think if you're a basic level runner, you could easily run 15 kilometers a week. That would be pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
But 30 kilometers at a stretch or just at one time might be kind of difficult. So this is a range in difficulty. 15 kilometers a week at the low end and 30 kilometers at one time. That's very challenging.
Yeah, anytime you see that phrase at a stretch means that you did some sort of activity nonstop. You didn't stop in between. So some people love to sew. My mom could sew for 12 hours at a stretch, meaning she could sew for 12 hours straight. That's another word you could use for at a straight. So 30 kilometers straight, meaning you didn't break between that. So that's a lot of running. Created to be attention-grabbing, their challenges, Nike, we're talking about. Their challenges display as colorful full-screen designs that offer prizes to competitors. Athletes are very competitive, which is an adjective for the noun competitor. And they only last for a limited time. So there's this sense of urgency, meaning if you don't act now, you're going to lose this opportunity. It's going to pass you up. So this helps motivate users to commit to challenges before the opportunity passes or passes them by, you could say too.
Yeah, they'll say, act now while you still can. Don't miss out. Don't miss your opportunity or it's going to be too late. So that, of course, gives you a sense of urgency. If something's urgent, of course, it has to be done right away. So yes, this will attract users. It will motivate them to commit to these challenges before the opportunity is gone. Well, these are just a few of the ways that real businesses have successfully used gamification to engage consumers, and this technique is more prevalent than you might suspect. So we've given you some examples here, just a few of the ways that these real companies and businesses use gamification successfully. They've used it to engage consumers, to get them interested in their products, to become loyal customers and things like that. And it's more prevalent than you might suspect. Prevalent means widespread, common. You might be involved in this and you don't even know it.
That's right. Be aware, guys. Be an educated consumer. They are tracking all your data. So if you don't want your data to be tracked, you shouldn't sign up for some of these programs. But be educated and make a good choice. And then, you are responsible for your own choices. So these are interesting. Now you know what they're trying to do when they come up with these reward programs. You are now an educated consumer. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to wrap up.
第二个案例是 Starbucks， 他们利用应用程式鼓励消费者增加消费，累积星星，换取饮料。It utilizes reward programs to draw in repeat customers. 是什么意思？ Draw in 就是吸引回头客，希望 这些客人还可以再回头光顾。With every purchase, consumers can use the brand's app to blah 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 blah. 好，请同学看这个句子哦。首先，先看到逗点后面有个 which， 这个 which 不是代替一整个句子哦，这里的 which 代替的是前面的星星，收集星星，用这个应用程式收集星星，星星可以干嘛呢？后面有一个 which may be cashed in， 那用的是被动语态，这些星星呢是可以用来兑换 be cashed in for 后面是你要换的东西，换招牌饮料 signature drinks。好，再来，请同学看到 This marketing scheme is so effective 这个句子，请同学看后面有个 alone， 这里不是孤独的意思，而是光是第二季，单只是第二季，那他们呢，其实业绩就已经有。抱歉，应该是说他们使用的人数，这个应用程式使用的人数就增加了非常的多。第三个案例是 Nike， 他们鼓励 App users 接受挑战，透过比赛的形式完成挑战的人就可以得奖。好，那请同学再看 Meanwhile 这个句子。Meanwhile 这个句子呢，在最后面又有一个逗点之后有个 which， 对不对？好，这个 which 代替什么？代替前面的 organized challenges 这些挑战。那挑战很多啊，包罗万象，所以用了 range from 这个片语，动词片语。那这个 range from 这些挑战以什么来分类啊？以难度来分类，有15公里的。每个礼拜跑15公里的，那也有一口气跑30公里比较难的。好，所以呢，我们看到就是 range in difficulty。好，就是以难度来分类 ，range from 什么 to 什么，难度从什么到什么。那后面这个 at a stretch 是一口气的意思，这个片语也很重要。好，那再接着同学请看到 created to be attention grabbing 这个句子，请注意哦，这个句子是分词构句。好，这里 created 它是过去分词，那到底它在意义上、意思上主词是谁啊？为什么省略了主词呢？这是分词构句，它的主词往后面找，就是这些挑战，这些挑战就是要吸引人家的注意。好，attention grabbing. Okay? These challenges were created to grab your attention. 好，以上呢就是我们今天的中文讲解，谢谢大家。
That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time for another edition of our program. And I think we're still thinking of some techniques that we can use here at AMC to develop some gamification apps.
That's
I don't think we have any as yet, but hey, stay tuned. We might have some in the future. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.